There are certain components of human life that cannot be bought with money or with status or with fame or anything like that. And these components include purpose. They include a religiousness of heart. They include being dharmic. They include being righteous in oneself. They include truthfulness. They include having a purpose that you live out daily. And they include the fundamentals of whatever you choose to put out energetically with your thoughts, with your voice, with your words, with your actions, right? And when we conclude all of these components into one sector, let's say business, it's called business energetics, okay? So all of the ways in which you live, for all of my entrepreneurs, directly relate and correspond to the way your business operates. So this has to do with how you think, how you feel, how you construct your day every day, what you prioritize in life, what is important to you in your life, right? For some people, money is important, right? And that's like the most important thing. And so people make decisions based off of financial gain, which is completely okay. And then, you can take it a step further, and you can make decisions based off of collective gain or purpose, right? A global purpose. You can make decisions that maybe put your ego at risk or put your reputation at risk, right? For the sake of progressing the human consciousness globally. And it all has to do with the individual's priority, right? Like, what are your priorities? So business energetics is a very fascinating topic to me, and it includes kind of everything that we do every single day, not just outside of ourselves, but within our mind as well. And all of that corresponds to the way our business is running, right? All of that corresponds to how we present ourselves to the world and how we put ourselves out there and what we deem as important. And so it's interesting because business energetics is not just restricted to business. Business energetics is also present within relationships, within interactions, within friendship, right? Everything is energetics. Everything has this business energetics component to it, right? Because the nature of energy is that it is transferable. So when we give energy to a relationship or a situation or a thought even, we supercharge it, right? We supercharge our thoughts. We supercharge anything that we emit out into the astral space, and it comes back to us in one form or another. That's why when they say, when you give love, love will come back to you. It's very true. And the way that love comes back to you is just so interesting. It's so interesting the way universe, source, God works, because literally love will come back to you in the form of sweet moments in your life, in the form of being able to watch birds and having like direct interaction with animals, right? In the form of being able to meditate and do well at it, be really successful in your dhyan and your meditation. Like all of that are blessings, all these things are blessings. And so to take life for what it is, as being moments that we decide upon, and for seeing each moment as a blessing. That way we're truly living from our souls. We're living in truth. We're not living in illusion. We're not living a lie. We're not living a lie that, hey, money is the most important thing, or that, hey, me winning in a situation or having my ego put on a pedestal, that's the most important thing. Like all these things, they keep the soul trapped. They keep the consciousness stuck at a certain baseline frequency. And let me talk to you about this for a second. When you were born into a system that makes very much sure that the vibrational frequency of human beings is set at a certain level. You can go ahead and look up the daisy of death if you don't know what I'm talking about. You can look up the the 10 pointed Merkaba, okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about. This is the false frequency that we have been born into as the global system that is occurring, that has been occurring for centuries, right? We've been born into this, and so the warfare here on human beings and on human life and on life force energy is very much energetic, right? It's very much spiritual warfare. And you've probably heard that term before, spiritual warfare, but like, what does it mean? What does it actually mean? It means that we are literally stuck within a system that keeps our frequency at a certain point. We have to strive, try, fight to be able to raise our frequency past that point. Do you understand what I'm saying? We have to literally go through spiritual warfare. We have to burn layers of karma. We have to go through hell, literally, right? We have to see hell because that's how we're going to be able, that's the only way really to raise your frequency past a certain point. And it's commonly known as the dark night of the soul, which is something that if you've gone through an awakening, you know what that is. It's extremely painful. It's extremely long and drawn out. It can come in 1 cycle, 2 cycles, many cycles, right? You can get stuck in various karmic loops, even throughout your ascension or your awakening process. It's very painful to break out of the consciousness that we have had on Earth and as a human race and within our own lineage for millions really of years. That doesn't come easily, and it can be done though. That's what I really want to point out. It can be done. And so the point and purpose of human life, the priority of human life really, is to raise your frequency past that baseline frequency as high as you can go. Okay? So this is actually the frequency of unconditional love. And this frequency is our truth. It is truly who we really are. We may experience it here and there in life. We may have points of enlightenment. I know that for me, I experienced this markedly in my life. Like I had 3 or 4 intense experiences, enlightenment experiences, in which I experienced like huge, vast, unconditional love. And I was awakened to how gratitude is the only thing that matters really, and how God is everywhere, in and in between every atom, right? And so these awakenings, they happen within meditation. They're extremely transformational, and they're very rare as well, right? And then what do you do after that? You go back to living your normal life because you still have to pay bills. You still have to, do you see what I'm saying? We are kept in control. Our frequency is kept very much controlled so that it doesn't exceed past a certain point, so that our power is restricted, restrained, controlled. And this is done very much so intentionally. And it is important that we realize this, because illumination of truth is the first step to waking up, you know what I mean, from the illusion that we have been placed under as a human race for, like I said, centuries. So this is very important. Why? Because this is the key to happiness. Unconditional love and gratitude, everything that I mentioned, these things are awakened within us. It's like a switch that turns on. They are awakened within our consciousness after we do a lot of inner work, okay? Scratch what I said. When I said a lot of inner work, there's no such thing as a lot or a little. When we get there, we get there. And when you get there, you'll know that you're there, right? So this is why that I encourage meditation so much, because meditation is the way to get there. Seated meditation, not active meditation, okay? Like nothing like that. You have to be very much so hungry for the image of God, hungry for the relationship with God, because that relationship with God will get you to a point where your consciousness only expands and expands and expands from there. And when your consciousness expands, you again wake up from the illusion of this human life. You wake up from the illusion of separation. You wake up from the illusion of physical currency. You wake up from the illusion of give and take relationships, like of conditional love, right? And you can see, capital S, you can clearly see God in and in between every atom, within every person, within every being, living being, non-living being, etc. Everything is God. And that's insane. Like, if you think about it, it's quite insane, because we don't see God. We don't see God. We can't. We have not been given the eyes to see, right? Our physical eyes cannot see, but our inner eye can see. So when we focus on developing this inner eye, then we can see, you know what I mean? Then we can truly see what is actually Gucci with it when it comes to life, when it comes to life that is always continuous, by the way. Life is not just life on earth. Life is also the lives that you've had before, the lives that you're going to have after, right? In your meditation, you can ask for protection from God, and God will, when you form a relationship with God, your whole life changes, okay? It's like, if you've ever seen the movie The Wizard of Oz, it's like once you know, you can't unknow. And so your whole perception of everything changes. Your perception of yourself changes. Your perception of others changes. Your perception of the world, what matters, what doesn't matter, life, death, existentialism, all of these things change. Your perception on philosophy changes. You can connect things easily. God is omnipotent. So you're his child. So why would he not make you omniscient, all-knowing? Why would he not make you omniscient? Why would he not make you all-knowing? If you want to know anything, you can know it, right? If he'll allow you. So you become very intelligent. Your intelligence grows as you strengthen your relationship with God. Our minds are not limited to the organ of the brain. Our minds extend beyond 3D matter, obviously, and they hit all of the points of creation, all of the points of the universe, and they extend outward. There's truly no limitation to the extension of the capability or the intelligence of the human mind. That is why human beings are so powerful, so powerful. Like I said, God is omnipotent. Now I'm using the term omnipotent, right? All powerful, right? And so God is seated within us, within our hearts, because like I said, God is in and in between every atom. And so knowing that God is seated within our hearts and knowing that God is omnipotent, we can derive his power to do anything. You want to learn how to do a certain skill? Just call upon him. Call upon him. He'll allow for you to do it. He'll allow for you to learn it. You can become good at anything through God. Okay? So this is all we got, guys. This is our magic. This is our superpower, and it exists within us, and few have tapped into it. Few have tapped into it. But I'll tell you one thing, though. There are some people that have, and you can tell that they have. And it's a mystery. It's a mystery. How are they doing that? You know what I mean? How are they able to create things, invent things, know things, right? People think that, in society, psychics are not commonly accepted as being real with their capability. But it's very real. To be psychic is very real. It's just a siddhi. We are granted various siddhis upon God's will, basically. It has to be, everything that we do has to be very much so approved, or literally God approves everything really that we do. And so that's why when you go against God's instructions that are found in various scriptures, your life gets shitty. You know what I mean? Why does your life get shitty? Well, because you're not following human instructions, the instructions that have been given for human beings, for the human race, right? And so people honestly, that are in power in our globe today, they don't think karma exists. They don't believe in karma. They don't agree with karma. And so do you think they're happy? Do you think that they're going to find happiness either in this life or the next? No, they won't. You know what I mean? That sensitivity, that love, that unconditionality, that's not going to be given to them because you're not following karmic instruction. It's very simple. Newton's third law states every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That's karma. That's just what karma is. And so we think that things happen to us, right? But in actuality, things are happening for us to experience, to learn. Earth is a school. Earth is a school. No one said that Earth is going to be easy or fun. Of course not, right? So how can you have easy life? How can you have a fun life? Through love, guys. Through unconditional love. Through God. There's literally no other way. It's not through a relationship love. It's not through material love. It's not through love with another human being. That comes later. That comes after you master unconditional love with source, with self, with soul. You know what I mean? like I said, God sits within everyone's heart. When you can find that and then explore it, I'm telling you, your whole life will change. It may even take years for you to become somebody that, the growth is continuous, the growth is infinite, like I said. So as you explore that growth and continue expanding in your consciousness, you will become somebody unrecognizable to yourself day after day after day. You will keep changing. You will be like a walking transformation, both for yourself and for people that you meet and encounter. You know what I mean? And so, this can also be very upsetting to the ego, because you think to yourself, why am I different? Like all these things, but you're on a path. You said yes, you had your enlightenment process. Like you can't really go back, So, the path is difficult. It does get hard and lonely as well. But the loneliness actually comes from being separate from the path and being separate from why you're on the path in the first place and being separate from God. And so, like, you quickly remember that loneliness is not existent. You know what I mean? Because you're always like connected to source creation, to the creator. So, you teach, you want to serve in your business, you have a purpose, you are here to help people. You don't care really like what people think or anything like that, because ultimately all that stuff is it's just not there, like you are walking your path. And so, like when you walk your path, again, God will give you knowledge of different things. Your intelligence will expand. You'll have the ability to teach people on different subjects, such as the importance of raising your own vibration past the point of the baseline global frequency that the Earth is vibrating at currently, which is actually a very low vibration. Because we play into the illusion of separation a lot. We're mostly dominated by technology at this point. We're going to be continued to, by the way. And the notion of community is pretty much eradicated from humanity, like across the globe. So any sort of like unconditional love or anything like that, it's just been really watered down to conditional love, transactionalism within relationships, right? Like things like that. And so it leaves people with a gap, in their hearts, in their souls, and they seek to fill this gap with overconsumption or addictions or finding material love, with other people, you know what I mean? And that's never going to fulfill you on a soulful level. It's just not, and you could take my word for it, or you could, not. But people realize eventually in their lives that it doesn't fulfill them, and so then what do they do? They turn inward. This was my story. This is what happened to me when I was 19. I was in a relationship. It was hurting me a lot, a lot. And somebody told me, look for God, find God. And so I did. I made it a point to, and I started searching. I started asking questions desperately, feverishly. And I remember my biggest question was this. It was, if I'm suffering so much, what's the point of my life? Why am I alive? I was very depressed. I did not want to be here. I was ready to leave. You know what I mean? It was that was my outlook, And so I asked that question over and over and over again. Why am I here? What is the point of my life? If I'm suffering so much, why? Why am I suffering? And then why am I even here? You know what I mean? And I asked like that, like really, like with so much agitation. And I received answers slowly. They started coming through meditation, through quietness, no noise, no music. You just meditate with no noise, right? I started doing this when I was 19. And then I just never stopped, I just continued. And it has been just many, many lives after that, like many, many lifetimes after that, and so, yeah, that's why I'm here, to share what I've learned with you guys and to share my energy with you guys, my vibration, right? That's my purpose and my intention. So I hope you guys benefited from this audio. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. If you would like to try meditation after this audio, feel free to. And you have an abundance of resources on YouTube for this. You can look up Meditative Mind. That's my favorite YouTube channel. Just look up Meditative Mind Crown Chakra Meditation. That's what I first started using when I was 19. I still use it to this day. And it has completely changed my consciousness, really. It's expanded it to lengths and points I never in a million years would have ever thought possible. I have seen things, guys, that I never thought existed. I've been places like within my own mind and consciousness, and even on the planet, that I never realized were so sacred, like I have manifested things right before my eyes, and it's not me that's doing it. You have to understand, God does all things through us. We are vessels for him, right? So like, I swear this connection is infinite. It's everlasting. It is wealth. It is truth. It is purity. And it's within your own will to cultivate. Only you can cultivate a connection with God. Only you can. You know what I mean? And it'll save your life. It'll give you new life over and over again even. And it'll give you everything you need. So I hope you guys enjoyed this audio. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.